So if you've never run a Facebook ad before, or perhaps you're currently running Facebook ads and you're not happy with the results that you're getting, in this video, I'm basically going to be sharing with you a tip that you can go and find winning ads from your competitors, take inspiration and ideas from them, and incorporate it with your own ads to increase the ROAS and overall returns on your Facebook advertising campaigns. So first of all, what you're going to want to do is head on over to the Meta Ads library. So you can simply search for the Meta Ads library and you'll be able to see this screen in front of me now. So you can see there is the option to change the location and set the ad category. Now, this is something I want to touch on briefly because it's a very important part of this overall process. And it's actually something that a lot of e-commerce brands overlook when it comes to finding winning ads to model from. Now, obviously, I'm based in the United Kingdom, so that's why it's set for the UK under my location option here. If, however, you're wanting to look at competitors and see if they're running ads in America, for example, so let's say I'm running a sneaker brand and I'm UK based and I've decided to switch things up a little bit. I want to look at some ads which are currently being run from competitors in the US. What I would do is come in here and search for the United States, select this option, and now the Meta Ads library is going to show me for whatever search term I put in, or for whatever brand I put in, it's going to show me whether that brand's running ads in those countries, and then from there you'll be able to see the different types of ad that they're running. So why is this important? Well, it's important for the reasons that I just touched upon, really, in the sense of if you're looking to get a fresh perspective on things like creatives, different ads, primary text, for example, and you're really wanting to kind of widen your scope, well, this will obviously allow you to look at competitors within your industry, but just in different countries to help you sort of brainstorm new ideas, which could help you find winning ads and obviously generate amazing results for your e-commerce brand. And when it comes to the ad category, again, this video is targeted towards e-commerce brands, so 99.9% of the time you're going to want to come in and click all ads. If you, for some reason, you want to look at ads within one of these categories, you would obviously just come in and select it. But like I say, considering you're probably an e-commerce brand watching this, you're going to want to click on all ads. Now, for the search by keyword or advertiser option here, which you can see, you can basically go about this in two different ways. So if you're an e-commerce brand and you've got some competitors in obviously in your mind that you want to go after, you can by all means search for them specifically within the ads library, and start browsing their ads. Or if you're an e-commerce brand and you actually have competitors in mind, but you think their content, the way their marketing is, doesn't really resonate with my brand, so I want to find some different competitors, how can I go about doing that? Or if you don't have any competitors in mind at the moment, or you've got a limited amount, what you can basically do is search by the general term. So in this case, I'm going to go for men's jewelry, just to show you as an example. I like jewelry and I'm going to be going after men's jewelry. So essentially, Facebook will show you the different advertisers which are currently running ads that come under this keyword, or keywords in this case. So obviously you can see the different brands here. You can either click onto these and start browsing their ads, or what you can do is just simply search for this term, and you'll be shown a load of different ads which come under this term. So obviously if I scroll down, you can see this company here, Men's Wellness Jewelry. You can obviously see they're promoting this bracelet, same with these companies, etc. So that's a way you can go about it. For example, if I was in the men's jewelry space and I'd never heard of this company before and I thought actually their content looked really, really good, I could potentially note them down for a competitor to keep an eye on in the future. So this can be a great way to discover new competitors, which again, you might see more of their content and think, oh, actually, I like brand A over brand B, so I'm going to focus on this new competitor, which I found in the ads library. So that's really how you can go about it if you're looking for new competitors. So what I'm going to show you in a minute is an example of going after a specific brand. One thing I quickly wanted to mention is just a brief message about my e-commerce marketing agency and exactly what we do for brands to help them increase their revenue. So we work with e-commerce brands of all different sizes within all different industries, whether it's swimwear, potentially a sneaker company, clothing, wellness, whatever it may be. We work with a wide variety of different e-commerce brands. We help them with paid advertising, email marketing, and content creation. We come in and implement a tailored advertising system specific to your needs and goals. And we work with you very, very closely as more of a growth partner instead of a marketing agency. So if you are interested in having a no commitment call with us and just wanting to share some ideas and specifically find out how we help these e-commerce brands in a bit more depth, then you can book in a call with me below. I'll leave the link to my calendar in the description. So please feel free to book in a call, and hopefully we get a chance to have a chat and potentially work together. So, for example, if you're an e-commerce brand, it's highly likely that you have some competitors on the top of your mind that you're going to want to search for in here. And one thing I will say is that this process that I'm showing you for identifying winning ads and taking inspiration from them, it works a lot better if you have a specific brand in mind. Obviously, this method that I show you can be great if you're looking for new competitors. Perhaps you want to just have a look at some ideas sort of outside of your current competitor list. But if you have a specific brand, then it can work well because you're just focusing purely on their ads and obviously seeing what's working well for them. So if you've got, let's say, a competitor list of your top five at the moment that you haven't either on your top of your mind or you've noted down somewhere, if you're then looking for brand number one because you like their content the most, you feel like you take more inspiration from them than brand number five on your list, it makes sense to obviously try and find their ads and see what's working well for them. So in this case, I'm going to go for a company called Cleans. One of my clients at the moment is actually a very cool up and coming sneaker brand. So they're a sneaker brand, and obviously in this case, it makes sense to look at Cleans because my client's based in the UK, as are Cleans. And so here I can basically see all of their ads. As you can see, they've got quite a few running, 130 results. So they're obviously doing very well from their ads. And that's also a strong indicator. You want to be going after companies which are running multiple ads because it usually implies that they are, having more successful results from their ad campaigns. Otherwise, they simply wouldn't put more ads out there. It just doesn't make sense. Now, it's one thing to have all these ads on screen from your competitors. You can have a browse and look through all of them. But you don't want to be modeling from all of them, and you don't want to be having a further look at all of them, okay? Because, for example, if a brand has launched an ad, and in this case, it's launched in January 2025, you've got absolutely no idea if that's going to be performing well or not because it's only a couple of weeks old, right? If an ad is a couple of weeks old, there's you have less of a chance of knowing whether it's successful. Whereas if you look at an ad which is 3 to 6 months old, which is what I strongly suggest you do, if an ad is still active and 3 to 6 months has passed, there is a strong chance that it's performing well for that brand and it's therefore a winning ad. So that's what you want to be going after. So what you basically want to do is Meta, they put it in order. So you can just scroll down and go to 3 to 6 months old. So for example, let's just go with August 2024. This ad here is still active. You can select active ads only, which is what I strongly suggest you do. Obviously, it's going to filter out all the inactive ones, which is ones that you're not going to be interested in anyway. What you can do afterwards is once you're sort of in that ballpark of 3 to 6 months old, you can click on this see ad details option here, and you'll basically have a better look at the ad, the primary text, etc. So you can obviously see here it's running on Facebook, Instagram, the audience network, Messenger, etc. You can see the primary text. You can obviously see the creative. So, it's, it could be a still image, it could be a video. In this case, it's a video. If I wanted to, I could, go ahead and watch the video, take some inspiration from the creative, what angles are they using, etc. You can sort of have a brainstorming session and really dive deep into the creative. If it's a static image, potentially what elements are they using? Are they using sort of close up big text? Are they using bright, bold colors, for example? You can note down some sort of things that the competitors of yours are using. And then you can obviously see the headline, the CTA as well. So why is this important? Well, it's important because if you're noticing a pattern across your competitors that actually they're using smaller primary text, or sorry, shorter primary text over longer primary text, and that's something that you haven't necessarily incorporated for your own ads, it's something that you can take a bit of inspiration from. If it's a trend that you're spotting, and you will start to spot trends, if a trend that you're spotting is shorter ad copy and you're using longer ad copy, then it's just something that you can keep sort of in the front of your mind and actually think maybe, I should reduce my ad copy because the trend that I'm seeing is shorter ad copy. And even with the creative, this, for example, is a video creative, but potentially in your sector, maybe you're, a swimwear brand, for example, and you've got a new collection out, or you're noticing that your competitors are using carousels to show off the many different, swimsuits beachwear, for example. Maybe you're spotting carousels are the most common type of ad format. You can again take inspiration from that and think, actually, maybe I should switch up my ads and start testing carousels more. And same goes with the headline. Obviously, this is quite a short headline in this example. Perhaps you're using longer headlines, which maybe aren't capturing, your audience's attention as much as you'd like it to. Again, it depends on the sector. For some sectors, longer headlines are probably going to work best over shorts. But you can just take ideas, and you're starting to see how you can decipher these ads to pick out and notice different elements that competitors are using, which you may not be. Now, one of the things that you can do as well, which a lot of e-commerce brands they don't use this feature to the sort of fullest extent. Is you can click the CTA. So in this case, it's obviously shop now. It may be learn more. It could be order now, whatever it may be. You can essentially click on the CTA and you'll be taken to the page in which a user would be taken to if they were interested in this ad and they wanted to obviously find out more. Now, this is really interesting because what you can start to do is what's called funnel hacking. So if a user's being shown to this page, if they purchase a specific product, they're probably going to enter the email flow. So now that they're in the brand's email flow, they're going to be nurtured as a customer and they're going to be shown things like up and coming products, special offers, for example, all things to essentially encourage repeat purchases. And for example, if someone comes through to the ad, they decide not to purchase whatever the product may be, potentially they get hit with retargeting ads. They click through one of the retargeting ads, they now purchase, they're now part of the email sequence where they're being nurtured from the email marketing campaign. So you can start to have an idea and you can start to sort of brainstorm different ideas that potentially you're not currently doing, but you want to incorporate with your brands. So going along this sort of route, and again, once you start looking at multiple different competitors' ads, you'll be able to get a better idea as to what potentially their funnel looks like and take some inspiration from that. Now, what I've just shown you, the process doesn't take long at all, but you can definitely cut your learning curve down by months, if not longer, just by going through this process. Just by taking that extra step to analyze, the full sort of process from clicking on the ad, where's the user taken to, what does the landing page look like, what potential features do they have on the landing page, how is it structured, for example. You can break it down and really analyze each individual step. You can take inspiration from these small steps and really incorporate it for your own brand. So it's definitely something I advise you do, particularly if you're a small e-commerce brand and you're just getting started with ads. Obviously, it can be a little bit daunting at first because there is some complexity behind it. You can go through this process and really just cut out that section and just really go out and find ads which are performing well. So definitely recommend you do this. It's well worth the extra effort. Now, there's a couple of things I want to mention when it comes to modeling from these ads, and just basically share a couple guidelines with you in terms of what I think will help when it actually comes to this process. Now, a couple of different things when it comes to modeling ads. Number one, you want to make sure that you're modeling from ads that you can replicate. So for example, if you're let's say a clothing brand, for example, and one of your competitors has done something pretty extreme, like a helicopter skydive, and they're promoting a certain hoodie or a certain piece of clothing from this skydive, and you're potentially a smaller e-commerce brand, you don't have as big of ad budgets to obviously put into something as extravagant as a helicopter skydive. It's not a problem. You don't need to try and model from those companies. You can go for smaller competitors. You can go for just different competitors in general. You can identify different ads which you think, actually, yes, I can model from that. Potentially, if a clothing brand, again, using that example, has a bit of a vintage theme to it, potentially they've done a shoot with a classic car, for example. So you can obviously have a look around at some studios. Perhaps you can contact one of them and say, can I book in a studio photo shoot with you guys? And, then you can have a shoot with a classic car. And that's kind of how you can sort of model from that, for example. So it's not a problem if you can't model from some of the ads, just find ones that you can. The second one is definitely to model from, don't just copy. And there's a couple of reasons. Obviously, number one being you're going to start upsetting people in your industry, and you really don't need the headache of upsetting competitors, and it's just something completely unnecessary, and something in which you definitely want to avoid. And number two is what's worked well for them may not work as well for you. The reason being, obviously, each business has different strengths. So, for example, if they're promoting one of their benefits which your brand doesn't have, I'm sure that your brand has a different benefit that theirs may not have. So, for example, sustainable packaging or sustainable materials. Obviously, that's just an example, but you start to see the idea of, modeling from definitely do not just copy. That's pretty much it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found some value. If you have, please obviously like and subscribe because it really helps out my channel a lot and it helps other people find this video as well. With that all being said, thank you very much for watching and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Thank you.